it's a great privilege and a pleasure for me to share my learning, my thinking, my journey with all of you. Let me tell you that 33 years back, probably I was sitting somewhere there in NID, and I came from the industry. I had a very plum job, I would say. I was working in a multinational company as an engineer. But I had that key of design, creativity. I think the introduction which was given was an assimilation of many introductions which have been taken from the net. So before I joined an IT, I was an engineer, but I was also an artist, and I used to love doing art, and I still do, which I'll probably share with you in the presentation also. But I had this bug of design which I had no clue about before I joined NIT. And I discovered NIT only after working for 5 years in the industry, you know. And I discovered that this is the place, guys, where I have to go. And that was my destination and my dream. And that's how I sat like you in the NIT auditorium 33 years back in 1990. I'm sure this, I'm more like your grandfather now. But those 33 years which I have spent in design, they have been so fulfilling, I can't tell you. You know why? Because like Dr. Singh talked about, design is such a beautiful profession, and I'm so lucky to be in this profession. And I think you guys also equally lucky to be in this profession. Are you feeling lucky, guys? Very lucky, or just because your parents have told you to join design, or okay. So the see, design has to come from within. It has to come from your soul. And good design is always soulful, meaningful, purposeful. So you have to really believe in design, and I really reverberate with what Professor Shroff said, that redo is the tagline. So don't be ever complacent with your design. You have to keep iterating again and again, and it takes a lot of time to reach that level of fulfillment or perfection where you feel satiated with your design. So guys, when you take your journey, you will find that, this is the way design happens. Your creative juices, creative forces are so much there, infinite within you. And it's just a question of your own discovery of yourself. And that is how you go about doing design, and there's no milestone, let me tell you. There is no destination for design because it's infinite. You reach a destination, then you have another one, you have another one. It's a moving milestone always. And that's the way I have taken my entrepreneurship journey. And I would like to share my journey with you guys, not because it's something great, but I think it will give you a deeper insight into what lies ahead of you, and how you can dream about being a great designer. So I would like to go through a small presentation which I have. So all the young students, the new joinees, the designers, I should tell you that we have put in like 30 years of design practice, 3 decades of design practice at Desmania. Sorry, the name says NID. Sorry, I made it is Nirma. So can you go to the next? Can I just use something to? So guys, this company Desmania was formed by me and my wife Sandhya, who is also a designer from NIT, and she's a costume designer. And both of us, we actually met at NIT, and then we got together and we formed Desmania in 1993. And you can see this animation which is sitting there. It shows that you have to keep walking, guys. There is no destination. You have to just keep walking to just fulfill your dreams of doing great work in the area of design. Because while you become a professional of design, you will find out that there's so much to do. It is not that you're a product designer or you're a communication designer and you'll stick to that field, because it's all multidisciplinary. You have to learn things from so many aspects. Like design is not just related to your own discipline. So the first thing I think, when I sat there at NIT, the first thing which I did was to come out of my comfort zone. So all of you have come out from your nests, from your families, very cozy, isn't it? How many of you are feeling nervous coming to Nirma University? None? You're looking forward to it because I think you've broken the shackles of your family and you're going to sit here and enjoy yourself. But be out of your comfort zone. Do not think that you'll get the same environment, same comfort what your family gave you because now you're an independent, a budding professional, So coming out of the comfort zone is very, very important. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, definitely you have to be out of your comfort zone all the time. So I'm always out of my comfort zone. Next, please. So over the years, when I started out, then design was actually not known. And Sangeeta Shah will endorse it that we used to get one written piece from the director of an ID to introduce what industrial design meant. And we did not have phones, we did not have computers at that time. So we had to introduce what industrial design meant to the industry. They never knew what industrial design was. And so we did everything possible what designers could do. But then eventually we had to focus somewhere and we started designing products, we started designing packaging. And as I told you, you know, you are never ever satisfied. You want to keep doing new things. So we also started an automotive studio around 13 years back. So we say from a jar to a car, we design everything possible. So you can see a glimpse of the kind of work which we do. So we work like Dr. Singh said that everything has design. And that's the appetite of a designer. You want to design everything possible. You can see there are appliances, you can see there are packaging related to big brands. You can see public spaces, medical equipment, automotive, electric vehicles. All this is something which comes under the designer's purview. And at Desmania, we do it ourselves. So when we built up the space, which took a long time, it didn't happen overnight, let me tell you. It took us like 17 long years to start thinking of building a space which is a real design studio, and which you see here in the picture is a design studio which is integrated with the redo thing, which is a workshop to work with your hands, to use the machinery to keep iterating. So iteration is a very big part of design thinking, which means you have to keep doing it again. I call it do loop. So many of you who know about computers, there's something called a do loop, which means you come, fail, go back, come, fail, go back, and when you do it many times, you come out with a great product. So this place is with all the stuff where you can redo fast. So these are some of the pictures of the workshop, the clay modeling studio which we have, which we built totally as a passion and dream. This was India's first clay modeling studio for the automobile companies. And then we have a full workshop where you can make things. Making is an integral part of design. So please remember that you have to dirty your hands. How many of you are ready to dirty your hands? All awesome. So 4 years later, I want to know that how many of you are stuck to the mouse and computer, and how many of you have really made your skin rough by doing things on your own. It's very, very important to use your hand while you're designing because you have to make what your mind says. You have to make it. And using your hand to translate your thought process to express yourself is a great idea because you get fantastic results out of it. So, design, like Professor Singh said, it's everywhere, just everywhere. Everything is designed, and the world is also designed probably. But in our own context, I think there are two areas where we really create an impact, and one is the business for which you're working. So, please remember that any client who will come to you will come with a certain business sense, and they want to create value for their business through design. You know Design is actually a means of creating value for business. So whatever you design has to impact the business for sure. How is the business impacted? How can a business grow? By selling more. And how do you sell more? By satisfying your users, your customers. So designers actually design for the end users, the customer, and in the process, the business gets impacted in a big way. So it's a journey. I think business is one integral part of this whole journey of creating something which is user-centric design, as we say. And in my opinion, apart from user, you also need to think about the world, the planet, the sustainability, and we need to integrate this together. So these are just some of the examples of the design which has been done at Desmania, and which have done, these designs have done very well for the industry. It has impacted the business and satisfied the users in a big way. And you can see that design actually is the enabler of technologies, which I'll talk later. So this is a startup from IIT Mumbai. Anybody has heard of Atomberg? Many of you? Very recent startup. So when they made the first fan, which was made out of BLDC motors, they were actually unable to sell the fan because the size was so small, and they thought it's a big feature that making a small fan will be a great hit in the market. But the consumer mindset was completely different. They thought it won't give the right amount of air. So that's a consumer user mindset. And that is what you need to really acknowledge. What is the user thinking? What is their psyche and what is their need? So we made a fan which was like much more modern, very oriented. It looked extremely contemporary and yet met the consumer thinking about what the fan should be. So again, it has done extremely well in the market. Then this coffee machine, which you made almost like 10 years back, and wherever I go in the corporate, I see this machine floating around. So this is a mass market machine which was made for Nestle, and it really touched like millions of consumers. And I see this machine all over the place because it looks nice. It feels that it gives you great coffee. It has customization built into it, and yet not very expensive. It is not as expensive as the big espresso machines which come from Italy. So did very well for Nestle. A company called Live Pure, which got into water purification. It was their venture, which was from ground zero, grounds up venture, and we designed all their products. And the idea out here was to actually penetrate the market through design, which means you had to create a disruptive design in water purifiers. And it did so well. The company is now more than 500 crore company, and all the products have been designed by Desmania. How many of you have used this? So many, guys. Can you see how many users the design has touched? How many of you think it's a complex product to design? None, isn't it? Let me tell you, it's such a small little device, but it has been one of the most complex design things for us. We had to go through a cycle of almost like 12 months designing this. You know why? There's nothing in this design. What's a big deal in that? Because one is that we had to cut the cost, we had to reduce the cost by 40%, which meant 40% profit for the company. And second is we had to add a new feature for the consumer where the effectiveness of a mosquito repellent happens in precisely 3 minutes. And to achieve that 3 minutes, we had to increase the temperature of the heater inside. And when you increase the temperature of the heater, the plastic melts. So it was such a long exercise of validation and redoing what we just talked about, iterations to so many levels. Then only we could achieve something which was put in the market. It has done extremely well for Godrej, which is the client. And I think they built up a business which is 2,000 crores only on this device. So you can see how business is impacted by design. Nobody knows the back end. What I told you is the back end of the behind the scenes story of this guy, and so many of you are using this. This is a Can anyone guess what it is? So it's called water ATM. Why is it called water ATM? And why do we need water ATM, please? Right? But you're paying for this water also. You know how much water goes in making a bottle like this? Which material is it? Can anyone tell me? Right. The material of the cap is called polypropylene, and you have a label which is called flexible and which is made in sometimes multi-layered plastic. How many materials are there? You can see three. How much water goes in manufacturing this bottle? Can anyone make a wild guess? 10 times the water itself. That's fairly close. So, guys, for a 1 liter bottle, this is a 750 ml bottle, I think. For a 1 liter bottle, there's 17 liters of water which goes only to manufacturing this. So, guys, will you have this ever? Which means once you have 1 liter bottle, you're consuming 17 extra liters, which means 18 liters of water. Would you like to have packaged water? Tell me. I don't drink packaged water. See, the bottle is still not open. So, the water ATM, for example, is a device which actually it's an endeavor to reduce the plastic waste. You can take out water, though there's always a flip side to everything. You can never get 100% sustainable solution, but you need to make at least a little impact, 10%, 20%, 30%. So guys, do you know how much water is consumed in making 1 kg of basmati rice? The packaged basmati rice which you get on the shelves, big brands like Dawat and all. Does anyone know how much water goes into it? One more guess, please. So it's 5,000 liters which goes into 1 kg of basmati rice. Isn't it absolutely incredible and absolutely hopeless situation, which is putting Punjab into a major water crisis? I hope all of you know. The reason why I'm telling you this is because designers are the people who can actually impact sustainable endeavors. Sustainability is actually in the hands of people who are doing grounds up work, and designers are one of those professionals who can conceptualize at a stage and solve these problems at the ground level. So I think that's the idea of sharing this information with you. Now this is air conditioning for Voltas. Again, what you see is something normal. There's what's a big deal about it. But how it impacts the business and how it has embraced the technology. So before these ACs are made in Voltas, they were importing everything from China. And this was the starting point of Make in India for them. And this series, and they made like 15 models out of only making 3 molds, gave them a complete fillip. They became the market leaders, and that is how Make in India ACs started coming. So all the air conditioners now are made in India, by the way, but before this was a starting point for Made in India ACs. And Desmania contributed in a very big way in designing the air conditioners in a way that it looks beautiful, and at the same time it also helps the business grow. These are some of the other products like coolers for Havels. This is a small little jar packaging, and it was done in 2005-6, almost 20 years back. The pack became so iconic, they wanted to compete with Brill Cream, which is an international product, and they wanted to gain market over there. And the pack you can see is very clean, simple pack. But reaching that simplicity is like going through a very complex route. So simplification is very difficult. If you don't go through a complex route of simplification, then you make something which is unfinished. which means there have been lots of redos in this to reach this simplification. This guy has been there for last 20 years. The client Marico, which is a very big company, they wanted to change this design at least 4 times, but the consumer did not accept any new design. They had to continue with this design, and that's how the Coke bottle has been. The iconic design. Why do we call Coke as an iconic design? Because it has continued to remain there. The same design. People don't want to accept anything else. So again, it's in your hand. By the right, iterations which you do, the do loop which I spoke about, you need to come to a design which can become iconic. And as I told you, we also design lots of automobile like 3-wheelers and 2-wheelers. This is a motorcycle done for LML, recently launched. So guys, I think this is just about Desmania, what we have done, but we've done thousands of such products, and we have a list of hundreds of clients who keep coming to us again and again because we are able to give them something which helps their businesses and give them loyal customers. I think this is exactly what we told you about. And as designers, please remember that whatever you're doing has to create value. Value for the end user and value for the client for whom you're working. The client could also be an NGO, by the way. So there are many aspects of design which you see. So design actually creates emotional connect. It's sensorial. So design of the perfume, for example, is extremely sensorial in nature. You smell it and you love it and you buy it. But the package which goes with it, if it is not contained in a good looking bottle, you never buy it, irrespective of the fragrance which you have. Social, I talked about the social aspects becoming bigger and bigger. So many of you would be actually should be working for the social impact through design. Experiential, cultural, sustainable, universal, functional, all these are very important aspects of design. So do not think that design is making very nice, good looking products. It needs to have all these components. But at the same time, you have so much of technology happening. So which is the latest technology which you guys have, which you're using now? AI. It's become like a job. Are you guys scared of AI? Scared? Were you scared of Google when it happened? So don't be scared, please. It will give you another level of thinking. We'll go to a different level of thinking. That is what AI is going to do to you guys. And designers are most relevant in this AI. The scare of AI will be mitigated by the designers. So your thinking pattern, your thinking is going to change with AI. But AI as AI doesn't mean anything. AI with an application means something. Like ChatGPT, had it not been there, then AI is nothing, no. AI is just a technology just sitting somewhere. But with an application, it makes a lot of sense. So design actually helps. The screen is very important for you guys. So many times we get scared of technologies. So when you add two aspects, one is the softer aspect of design, which is emotional, sensual, cultural, social, all this stuff. And second aspect of the technologies which are happening. The moment you amalgamate these two, that is when you get the real user-centric design, and you also get sustainable design. The reason I've written user-centric and eco-centric, how many of you are sensitive about changing this planet? You want to change the planet? All of you, I can see. So designers have a very, very big role in inculcating sustainability in anything that you design. So don't make it only user-centric. The human is only one species out of millions of them. Please make it also centric to the environment. So these two aspects are very important. So can you see these two circles which are sitting? So Dr. Singh talked about skill. Very, very important part of design process, because how do you express your skill? How do you express your thought? It is through a skill. If somebody cannot draw, somebody cannot visualize and put it as a piece of information or communication, then the person doesn't have skill, they have only a thought. Whereas design is skill and thought together. Don't think it's only still skill. It has to be meaningful design. It has to be thoughtful design, soulful design. So you really need to apply yourself, give meaning to it by the thought process. And the designer's thought process has to be very fast. Thinking at the speed of light is what you guys need to do. Don't think that you're going to sit under a tree and conceptualize for 3 months. The time will be gone. Every design has a relevance for time. In the fast moving planet which we have, this everything is changing every second day. So you need to think very fast. Do not think that design is something which is at leisure. You have to have a speed of thought. And here a big circle, which is design strategy. So all of you as designers will also play a very integral role in the management of the company or the client or the organization, because design strategy is very important. You saw the technology is happening, so you need to have a great strategy to convert your design into something which becomes the company's strategy as to how do you design products, how do you launch them, what is the future. 5 years down the line, is your design relevant or not? It has to come through strategy. So coming to, we talked about design thinking, doing, redo, iterations. When you apply these two things together, so design is a lot of maths, let me tell you, and you see these equations happening. So design thinking plus doing, when you do it again and again, you can actually do innovation. And innovation is something new, which is meeting the unmet needs of the consumers or the users. So as a designer, I want to talk about three things to you guys. One is a purpose of design. You need to have some great purpose. Second is you need to be agile in your thought process, quick design. And third is failures are imminent. You cannot ever do design without failures. If you are scared of failures, then don't be a designer. So be ready to fail and feel that's normal. Does it make sense to you guys? Are you guys all averse to failures? Always want success? Your mother and father told you be successful all the time? No? I'm happy that you are from a generation where you can think failure is normal. And I want to show you certain failures of mine, which have happened in the journey. So I'll just talk about meaningful design. So this is something new which we just started around 5-6 years back, because Desmania Innovation Labs, because we wanted to do something just purposeful. So we have designed many products and we have embedded technologies. I'll show you some of the examples. So this is a tea cooking machine which we invented, and it makes tea the way you make tea at home. Right now, if you go to any public place, you'll get tea with tea bags, some sachets of powder, milk powder, sugar, and you throw a lot of junk. If you have 1 cup of tea in a hotel, you see you create a small little bunch of waste, and all that waste goes only to the landfill. Our idea was to make a tea machine which has no waste at all. It is all compostable waste, the way you do it at home. Okay, there was actually a video which is not running right now, but it shows the whole process of making the tea. This machine which you see is something which we have designed, and it has come through at least 10 to 12 iterations of refining it. And let's go to the next slide. This is another project which we thought is very relevant for the country like India. And this is a small little device which is a companion for 9 months for women who are pregnant. And with you know nuclear families happening in such a big way in India, and earlier during pregnancy time you always had the extended family to help you. So we thought about a product which could be a companion for the pregnant women, especially for the migrant people who are coming, leaving behind their families. So So this is something which we thought of, which is called OO, and this has AI in it. So AI makes relevance when you put this in the product, not something which you are scared of. So technologies really help you. So this product is something which we have made up to semi-prototype, and we are trying to work on this. And it's app operated, AI enabled, and the proof of concept is something which you're trying to make. Go ahead. And the whole process of making, the look, feel of this product has come from the semantics of childbirth, a cute, cuddly child. So if you look at the design, it looks very cute and something which you want to be with. So you can see how it looks. It gives you a lot of information, as and when required. It is connected to the community and there is learning from many, many people. So this is how technology actually helps reaching out to millions and billions of people through your design. Go ahead. So, so this is the way it looks, and it also shows how your child is growing in the womb. So that's the whole idea. So guys, does it make any purpose out here? Is it a purposeful design or not? Yeah? So please remember that the meaning which you have to give to design is very important so that people can benefit out of it. You're not only an artist, please remember. You are somebody who's also a social worker in a very big way. This is a livelihood card which we thought, can we make a zero waste livelihood card? Do you know how many people are working in the informal sector in India? You know what a formal sector is and what an informal sector is? So big offices, corporate, IT, all this is formal sector, and rest is all informal sector. And chunk of the population actually, they earn their livelihood only through informal sector. And a card you might have seen in India, it's omnipresent. Why? Because there's so many people who are making their livelihood out of some kind of a card. And we have done a lot of work on cart. We've also made our own electric cart for the vendors who can go out and give them comfort and convenience. And the whole idea is that they should earn more money out of it. The idea is to raise the bar, raise their quality of living, and give them respect and dignity both. You know. So this is a livelihood card which we designed where we have integrated many things, and what we said was that the water which comes out and the waste which comes out can be composted, and you can actually grow small things like pudina, dhania on the card itself, which you can put in your cooking. So it's a zero waste card. It's an attempt to make things sustainable and also give dignity to the user. One of the cards is going to be launched very soon. One card was made for IIT Delhi, which government is planning to pick up for fruits and vegetables. Each one is different because user is different. Here it was for cooking cart, one is for vegetable vendor, one is for women's livelihood. So there's so much possibility. It's a mobile shop actually. Yeah. Then we worked on last mile mobility for the smart cities. So much of talk going around it, and we ended up making a full prototype of this. And this was done many years back when we even didn't know about these kind of technologies, almost like 10 years back. And this is the way it looks. And you see these kind of vehicles a lot now at a conceptual level on your Instagram and social media in a big way. And this has solar. It can be turned into autonomous vehicle meant for smart cities and small townships, even for your Nirma University. To go inside, it's a sustainable solution for this. And all the technology. Without technology, the product doesn't become alive. You can add so much value through technology. And the whole idea was to create a size which is very small, especially meant for India, which is so populated and congested, and make something which looks very cool looks, it actually improves the landscape of the cities in a big way. The cities start looking nicer when you have good transport. So this plug is something which we made for making any device smart. So when you plug in your fan, you plug in your heater, mixer, grinder, any appliance which you use, it becomes smart. You get an interface on your mobile phone. So this is something again we have taken a patent on this. So any questions, guys? You want to take a break? Anything which you want to ask? I hope I'm on time. Yeah. Anything you want to ask? You want to know about what I've shown you until now?
As you talked about the products and quality and value creation, it's very another important aspect of the business is designing the business strategy.
Yes.
If you can do something or if you can share some information on that.
So I don't have anything to share, but we've done a lot of work. Still new to the industry, because when you go and tell the people, tell your clients that you want to do a strategy for them, they think you're trespassing on their domain. So they're a little scared of designers to give them strategy, but we're doing something which we call as Idea Factory. We have a program and a framework where we do co-creation with the client and build up strategy along with them. Because if you can't do it alone, then hold their hand and do it, and that's what we're trying to do. So agile is something which I want to give you a very quick example on, which Desmania actually embarked on purely by chance. So when pandemic happened, we did not sit back at home. But the first thing which I did was to make a call to my design team and said, what the hell can we do with pandemic, man? Can we give some solutions to the users? Can we do something for them? Because we as designers, we have a responsibility to do something for the people who are suffering, because of pandemic. So 23rd of March, I made this call and did a hackathon internally. What could be done? And what came out was something which was designed in India, made in India by Desmania. And this concept came as something which we thought could be taken up, which was a combination of a visor and a mask put in together and not disposable. It's reusable and washable. And this concept we took forward and we converted this into a full product, made a brand, sold it for 2 years. And it was such a boon for the people. I can't tell you how much it helped the travelers, how much it helped the doctors. There was a demand which was so much more than the supply we could make. And we must have sold like 100,000 pieces. We had absolutely no experience in selling, branding, and such things, manufacturing. We did everything in house. We employed women from Manesar area. There's a video on YouTube. You'll find 50 women used to work during pandemic time and make this mask. Go ahead, please. And all this was done very fast. 23rd March to 27th July was the first launch of our production piece, on Flipkart. So this was the mask which we made, which was called Armor. We made a brand out of it, registered the brand, took patent on this technology, which has filters. These filters are not from China. Let me tell you. Found through IIT Delhi, we found somebody who was making nano filters in India. We took their help. Then from BASF, which is our client, we took help from them. We created another filter along with it. Nothing was from China. And this mask and made completely in-house. The window which we had given to our designers was that it has to be made within Desmania workshop. So only those machines could be used which were there inside. So because everything was shut, and only 6 people worked, and we took special permission from the government to work on it in our own studio, our own workshop. And you can see these are all machines which are in-house. We use 3D printing for making all the plastic parts, all in-house. We had these people who were doing assembly, iterating on it, and many iterations, so many iterations. We made this because we were unable to make a transparent mask in the early days. Then we tried, kept trying. You can see, and all this is happening in precisely 3.5 months' time. And you can see number of iterations from where to where. So many iterations. redo, like what you were saying, and fail, and then pass. And it's a continuous cycle. We did testing with doctors, we did testing with the delivery people, with the police guys, all in lockdown. You can see the empty roads there. And when I posted this picture, the last picture on LinkedIn, I got some 2 lakh hits, and I had inquiries from all over the world. And we sold this in US, Germany, Africa, Malaysia, Australia, so many places. And can you see the agile nature? I don't know, I can't believe that we have done it ourselves, but it was the call of the times. You had to do it, you had no choice but to do it. Why? Because you felt responsible for doing it. The idea was not to make money out of it, let me tell you. Idea was that as designers, we are responsible for this, and that's how we made it. So, so then we made a die, aluminium die with a CNC mill, when the market started opening up a little. And that's my daughter. She's wearing this mask, and very cool mask also. I hope all of you agree that's a cool mask. We want to use it. And then we made so many of them. We made mannequins on 3D printing, and just discovered the entire thing. We had no clue what it was. We did everything on our own. And that's the reason designers can do so much more, because you know so much, you observe, you learn, you keep doing so many things, you're so versatile that you can do all this without really any prior training. And we made so many of them. You can see many of them are fashion masks also. And I see them being used in many films right now, because they're the coolest piece of mask. The mask is out of the market, but I see videos, advertisements with the same mask as me being used because it looks so cool. And this one was for doctors. Doctors were so happy with this, I can't tell you. The kind of demand which you had from all over the country, because they were so scared dealing with the patients at that time. We also invented a defogging liquid on our own through Google research, and we made our own defogging thing so that it doesn't fog while you're wearing it. So it was a lifestyle thing, it was protection, it was comfortable, everything, all built into. You can see so many models. Paint, all painting was done in-house in our paint shop, nothing from outside. Then we also tried, more design. Earlier were all early, more functional things, but you can see this design stuff, style with the mask now. And so these are the vital figures which you can see. 12 weeks, 14 iterations, concurrent testing, do test, proto iterations, 8 numbers, 4 models made, better than N95 filters, and we touched 100,000 lives. So this is what agile design means, that you cannot wait and watch. Designers have to be very, very agile. There are many people, Sangeeta, I'm telling you that from an idea only they design masks. They have completed injection molds now. Time was lost over. And I have given them defog lotions because they wanted to put it for safety and all. But anything, you can't take 2 years for something like this. So agility is the key, guys. The designer sitting out here, please remember, you have to be fast in your thought process, not callous. I think that's something we should keep in your mind. And the last part, which I want to tell you guys, is that failures is something which you don't have to be scared of. And especially as designers, though it's true for everybody, because it's just normal. When you're embarking on a journey, failures have to happen. And I just want to show you 2 of my other enterprises which failed, apart from many, at least 5 which I know have failed. 2 is what I'm showing you. Probably they were a little ahead of their time. So this is an important statement. So success stands on the pillars of failures. If you don't fail, you'll never succeed. So this is something which we did way back. 2006 to 2010. 2006, I bought my first 3D printer, which was absolutely new technology. And I thought this is a great piece which can be used to iterate in design. And I also thought that let's use this printer for building characters which are Indian superheroes. You know, because we have so many superheroes. America comes out with Superman, Batman, and all, but we have all de-merged in so many in the Indian mythology who are all heroes, they're all superheroes. So we thought, why don't we build something around Indian superheroes and also talk about the values which they impart. So the whole idea was to build a story around it, use technology with 3D printer and build up these characters. So we made Bheem, and you can see how this Bheem looks. Does it look completely Indian or not? Tell me. Looks like an Indian Pehlwan, not like a you know. And we take care of this. So the muscles, the look on the face, everything is very Indian because it's an Indian superhero. And then we built up this meme on our 3D printer, articulated, try selling it a lot through our website. But there were no takers. I went to Fun School, I went to Hasbro in the US, and eventually I found out after many years of trying that these characters sell only when a TV serial is made. It's a merchandise and not a product by itself. And I stopped it. So 4 years I continued this program, and to me it was very close to my heart because it also touched the Indian culture in a big way. And but I had to stop it because it was not worth the business. Go ahead, please. So all this we did, using programs like Maya, Mudbox, and all this, which was not our cup of tea. We were doing only product design, but we learned all this totally out of passion, nothing but passion. And this guy is an NIT student now. He teaches in Sri Ram School. So we made a caricature of him and made a 3D print, and we also offered this service. Can we make caricatures of the people and sell it to them? But I think too here it's time. Now I think a lot of such enterprises exist, which are doing. We did this in 2006. Yeah, go ahead. So RIP, remember. So RIP is cool, man. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay, failures are normal. Second thing which we did, because sustainability is also very close to my heart, and so is with all the designers I know. And we thought let's remove or replace plastic way back in 2004. I went to Japan in 2004. I saw some stores where they were using paper for furniture and all. I thought, let me try this out in India and use recycled corrugated sheets to make things, objects which could replace plastic. And we made so many things, lifestyle products. We made utility products like CD holders, book racks, and all this stuff. And made our own website. We called this brand as Echo, Desmania, ECHO, Echo. But didn't work. Again, tried this for almost like 5 years and shut it. So you must be thinking that how sad it is. I'm absolutely not sad about it. I'm very happy doing all this because it has given me so much pleasure and happiness, and at least trying it out. The happiness of trying out something itself is so much more than not doing anything about it. So failures, guys. So you saw all these three things: purpose, agility, and failures. So all this is intrinsic in our design journey. Any questions? Anything you guys want to ask, please? Yeah.
We just want to know that person, man or woman behind your success, or only that bug present in that NID, bug present in your mind.
I think everybody, including you guys who are listening to me, I think everybody who has been associated is part of the success. It is not mine only, let me tell you. It is done by the team. We have a fairly large team, and I really attribute so much to the team for helping me out to reach those kind of dreams. So,
Sir, thanks for giving a good presentation. Yes, sir.
sure.
So one question in my mind that looking to the technology, AI and 3D printing, etc. What will be the effect on the creativity of the students? Right now, what they are doing, they have been doing since last 30, 40 years. And whether it will replace the designers, number one, whether it will help to the designers, and what about the creativity, creative thinking and design thinking? Thank you so much.
So without really giving too much detail about it, because there's a big discussion which can happen on this, but we have different levels of our mind. We were hunters and gatherers, and we kept developing technology. So we were the technology. Has it impaired anything? No. Aircraft was the technology. Has it impaired anything? No. It has always enhanced. It has always raised the bar. And same is going to be true with all this. You saw the reason why we could make that mask in that short time was because 3D printing was available with us. So it is only an enabler. Remember that. It's just an enabler. It takes you to the next rung in your mind. Your thought process changes with technology because somebody is there to assist you. It is an assist only. It helps you in doing things faster. It helps you in doing things better. When I finished my course, I used to do hand renders. Now people don't even touch and do because you can get absolutely photorealistic renders using programs like Rhino, Alias, and all. And client feels very cool. The total cycle time of development of the products has gone down by 1/3, 33% it is now. What used to take like 90 days now it is done in 30 days time. So it's only an enabler. I think we should never ever be scared of technologies because human beings' nature is way, way beyond technologies. It's like super, super technology. It's still centuries to go before we reach anywhere closer to that. So I have a question. Yes. So normally on websites and all, I see like lots of products that seem useful but they don't get many buyers. So like your design like armor, the mask. Yeah. How do you get so many people to see it? Like, did you advertise it? Yes, we did. We did. So we did not have any clue about it in the first place what advertising is, and so we used digital marketing in a big way. We used social media to reach out to people. So we had to do. You have to put all these catalysts. I would be a fool to make a great product and keep it on the side, my side. If it doesn't sell, if it doesn't reach the people, then it's a pointless thing. You're designing it for the people, no? So you have to use all those catalysts like advertising, social media, awareness campaigns, and such things to reach out. Yeah? Thank you. Okay. Are we done with this? Okay. You have some more? Few more slides, sir. I'll just take 3 minutes, I think. So, guys, can you see all these logos? Can you tell me anything which is common in these logos? मैं आपको ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि ये logos में क्या similarity पता है किसी को इसमें? I'm sure you guys don't know, so let me tell you that each of these companies is founded by one designer. Can you see how big names are sitting there? Airbnb, for example, is an industrial designer from RISD who founded Airbnb. Brian Chesky, his name is. So guys, you have a bright future. You can see such huge, massive companies are formed by people who are designers. And another area which I want to tell you guys is that while you are there at Nirma, your life you have to stabilize your life, and you need to have 3 things which you need to remember. Next. So life is like a 3-legged stool, which is the most stable. Many of you would be some of parents would be engineers. You know that 3-point location is very stable. It doesn't wobble. So click please. So number 1 is that learning has to keep going on. Learning is something which you cannot stop all your life. I still learn, keep learning. Next is you can learn, but if you don't contribute. So you need to contribute wherever you are. Whether you are in the university, in an organization, you need to contribute to their growth. And third, can any guess for third? Fun, guys. Remember, like when you said, no, that when you're stuck, you need to have a little fun, then you'll go to the next concept. That's the answer. Okay, thank you. And just very quick slides. Network hard, guys. I did not know how to network. I discovered very late in my life. Collaborate with different disciplines. You are lucky to be in Nirma because you have so many departments. Be hungry to learn always. Hunger going towards greed is a great idea. Don't be greedy about material, but greedy about learning. And be fearless. Don't be scared of anything. Go ahead, do what you want to do, experiment with life. So this is my message to all of you that in the roaring 20s, which happened in the US 100 years back, we are in the roaring 20s in India, and you guys are the contributors to it. So go with full bang, full energy, guys. This is my handle. Next. And the last thing is that never lose your real self, which you also talked about. Is the artist in me still survives. For 30 years, I've been doing art, I still do it. And I've exhibited at many places. You can see some of the pictures. These are oil paints, which I do. Then this is in Jahangir Art Gallery in Bombay, 2010. And now I do these, which are called mystic miniatures. And this is something which I continue to do because it's very close to my heart. So many of you would be musicians, playing instrument, doing many things, writers and all. Keep that passion alive, whether you're a designer or not. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.